Everyone, welcome to Rhythm and Roads podcast. I'm your host, Joshua Jacob. We have a very special guest. We have filmmaker Pedro Espinoza, and he has his new film coming out to Las Cruces International Film Festival this year called The Artist at Heart. So, welcome, sir.
I'm glad to be here. I'm glad to be here.
Yeah, man. And so, I actually am interested in knowing your story of how you became a filmmaker. So, I really appreciate you come on Rhythm and Roads to share your story. But yeah, if you want to start with that, just what interests you to want to be a filmmaker?
Um, the first thing that I think I realized it was I and my parents can vouch for me on this. I asked a lot of questions while watching movies. And a lot of it had to do with the technicality of it. I kept like wondering like how'd they cut from here to here? Like what was the setup like? Like how did they do this? How did they do that? And And the more I kept like wondering about it, the more I started watching YouTube videos about it. And since I was a bit of a shy kid, I started doing Lego stop motion.
Oh, really?
And so,
Wow.
yeah, I started doing that. I would get my cousins, me, and my dad to do the voices.
Oh, that's cool.
And that's where it just went from there. Um, and then me and my brother would always make weird videos after that. So it just built up from just wondering like how it was made
Yeah.
to now looking up on YouTube and at first I thought it was just going to be more of a YouTube thing, not actually film.
Yeah. Interesting. So, from you wanting to just do a YouTube thing, were you trying to be just like a straight YouTuber, like just mainly focused just on that? But and then you were just like, why not just lean into film instead of just always
Oh, yeah, I that's literally what it was because I film really never like that was the one thing is I never really thought film. I thought just making videos.
yeah,
And
random.
it wasn't until like my dad had asked me he asked me at like a really like I was like 13 when he asked me this because I was about to go into high school and my dad's a very he was a very like okay like what's the future like what do you want to do after high school because he's a preparer and so he likes to know ahead of time which
Mhm.
I honestly got that from him too.
That's good.
um and he asked me like what do you want to do after like just hypothetically you can do whatever you want after high school. What do you want to study?
Mhm.
And the first thing that came to mind was honestly, I think I want to study film because at the time I felt like I had known something, but I hadn't really known everything. Because I was 13, so I again was not I was
Yeah.
not an experienced filmmaker. I was just making Lego videos and that was it.
Yeah.
Uh, but I wanted to know more, and I felt like going to school for it would have helped a lot better.
Mhm.
And my dad was like, "Okay, like." Then we'll look at film programs. And so throughout the summers in high school, that was all we talked about was just figuring out what schools to go to
Wow.
after high school.
And what year was this?
This was 13, so this was 2013. We were
Wow.
in
2013.
Albuquerque.
Okay.
Yeah, we
Was
were in
that some time?
Albuquerque on a run. Um, And I remember that was the question he asked while when we were heading back to the hotel. And then it wasn't until like my junior and senior year when we were like really looking into it. So like 2016, 2017.
Okay.
Hmm.
Interesting. All right. Well, I gotta say, I'm glad that you have a cool dad like that who's just very supportive. And just like despite of it wasn't even just for filmmaking, he was just open to whatever you wanted to do, just to be like, hey, whatever you want to do, son, after high school, we'll talk about it and prepare for it. So that's cool that you have parents that are very supportive, just in whatever you wanted to do. But that's cool that he looked into it with you. When you said film, you guys looked up different schools. So what school did you go to?
So I ended up going to NMSU.
Yeah, go
Yeah,
Aggies. There you
yeah, go
go.
Aggies. Uh, and I felt like that was the perfect option because it was close to home. I liked the campus a lot. I liked a lot of my friends were going to NMSU too, so
Oh, they
that
were.
was one thing. Like, yeah, it was like okay, I get to still be with my friends,
Right.
and I still get to like meet new people because I met a lot of people my
Oh, I
first year
bet,
going
man.
there.
Yeah.
Yeah, and also because I was a cross country runner for NMSU, so
Oh, were you really? Oh, that's cool, man.
yeah,
Good for you. Nice. You know,
so I got all the opportunities for that.
oh, I bet. Were you on like a scholarship, or were you just using it as like another thing to do in the
So,
school?
so at first it started as I was just a walk-on. That was it. I was
Oh,
a walk-on. Yeah. And then it was like when COVID happened, then I finally got on scholarship.
oh, wow, okay. Nice, man. Yeah, I actually have a lot of friends and family that went to NMSU, and so I've actually gone myself to visit, and I checked out the CMI program, and yeah, it's really cool. I like NMSU.
Mm.
Yeah, and a lot of great filmmakers have come out of NMSU as well, so it's like
Oh yeah.
a lot of good stories. That's awesome, man. Well, congrats on that of graduating from NMSU and just the journey on the road that you're on into establishing as a filmmaker, creating new films, and just pursuing what you love. Well, congrats on getting your film into the film festival. I'm excited to see it. Do you know when it's actually showing at the film festival?
I believe it's April, I want to say April 10th.
10th?
Um,
Okay.
yes, I
Yeah,
want to
I'll
say it's the
definitely be
10th,
there.
but I'll have to double check.
Yeah, awesome, awesome. Yeah, I actually made some arrangements, so I'll be there the 10th through the 12th, so I'll be there 3 days instead of two. So it's like that's
Oh,
exciting.
nice.
Yeah, man. Well, let's get into your film, Artist at Heart. So, interesting title. If you want to share a bit of your film, what's the story behind that?
So the story behind Artist at Heart, so it's about a house painter that really wants to be an artist and in a way kind of embodies this French-like style that he admires. And so this came from this was a short film that was meant for the 2-day challenge in El Paso.
Oh, really?
And
Okay.
yeah, so we got like the criteria. Our character was supposed to be a house painter, and that's where we were coming about. And me and
Okay.
my co-writers were we kept revolving around like Wes Anderson style, and we kept
Oh,
revolving
nice.
around um, how exactly are we gonna how exactly are we gonna portray this, and how
Yeah.
exactly do we want it to feel? Because it's a comedy, it's a dark comedy. So that was
Oh,
another
it
thing. Is
is.
like
Okay.
yeah, and none of us think we're good at writing comedy. Comedy is really hard.
I bet. Yeah.
Yeah. So it came about that, and our actors, Izzy Salcedo, and our actress Asia Espinoza. I worked with Asia multiple times.
Okay.
This was Izzy's first role in a short film.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah. So we asked a lot for him in this short film because again, it's a dark comedy. So we knew from the first shot it had to be all right away, eye-catching.
Mm, right.
Mm.
And so the actor that you have in here, is he, you said that was his first role of doing an act of acting, or he's been in other films?
Yeah, he had been acting a bit, but this was like the first role that he had done with us.
Oh, with you.
And
Okay.
so yeah, and so this was a good experiment because we didn't know what was going to come out of it.
Right.
And it was a really great short to do
Yeah.
with him because it really showed us the range he had because we worked on a different project,
Okay.
and then this one he was more dramatic. So seeing the range that he had really helps because we know like what he can do, and
Right.
honestly he's a really great actor to work with.
Oh, nice, man. What other films
Mhm.
has he been in that are from either Las Cruces or around the surrounding?
So we just did a feature with him called Sunset Memory,
Oh, okay.
and we did another 48 hour for Paso called Do You Dance? and he's been doing more projects. He did one in Albuquerque,
Oh, really?
a commercial in Albuquerque. So yeah, so he's been in a lot. So if there's any filmmakers looking for someone to go to for an actor or an actress,
Yeah.
definitely Izzy Salcedo and Asia Espinosa.
Nice, man. And yeah, I look forward to meeting you and him at the festival because I take it he'll be there representing the film as well.
Oh yeah, of course.
Awesome, man. Whatever happened with the Paso Film Festival? Were you able to show the film or at all?
The Artist at Heart.
Yeah. Or prior films that you've done?
We've never gotten a chance to show any of our shorts at the El
Oh, okay.
Paso Film Fest. And that's just how festivals go. A lot of times sometimes it just doesn't follow our criteria, and sometimes it just
Oh,
might be like who's looking at them, and also like the time span. So
I see.
I've I've never really had a short film in the El Paso Film Fest, but I'm hoping one day that it will happen.
Yeah, man. Maybe this year. It doesn't, I mean, I think,
Yeah, of course.
yeah, you never know. I think this year it's in what, August, maybe September. They usually have the
I
El
believe
Paso.
so.
Yeah. I went to one. I went to one about 2, 3 years ago. My brother submitted his short film, and it went pretty good. I enjoyed it. It was nice. Good turnout.
Yeah, it's
Like
really
the
nice.
Yeah, very nice. I only went for one day, but I enjoyed the visit. So, as you being a filmmaker, I guess directors that are out there that are already established, as in Hollywood and just actors, who have you like? I guess which director has inspired you as a filmmaker? I guess growing up, if you have a certain movie that of the style that he directed, or you're just like, that's the person I want to try to,
Hmm.
someone like that.
There's two in mind. The
Okay.
first one is Thomas Vinterberg, and he's a foreign film director.
Oh, okay.
Um, but what inspired me from him was just like his simplicity in storytelling, and just like the complexities that it can have, because a lot of his films deal with they're what a lot of them are what if scenarios, but they also deal with like something that a lot of us have. And so
Hmm.
that kind of inspired me, because I saw the way that when he was shooting his movies, a lot of times it was always with the same actors, but
Oh,
it
really?
still felt different. Like it still felt like, oh, this is a completely different storyline. Um, and even just the way that he uses natural lighting.
Hmm.
Um, and the second director, and I think this is always going to be heard, is Spielberg, because um, time and time again, I always love watching his movies because they're just great comfort movies.
Yeah.
But also like I admire the way he jumps genres. I admire like the way that he's going from adventure, from coming of age to musical. And I think that's what the kind of career I want, is like to be able to jump to different genres, and to be able to just to be able to like see like what you can do,
Right.
because
Right.
I feel like that's the best challenge for a filmmaker, is like what
Oh,
can you
yeah.
do with a different genre?
Oh, yeah. I can't imagine
Mhm.
just the challenge of doing different genre of films and just the style of that. Which is there a particular film that you like from Spielberg?
From Spielberg, recently it was The Fablemans.
Hmm.
And that just kind of was more like, because I just love just the how relatable it is when it comes to the point where you want to do your passion, and you're trying to go to school, because for anyone who hasn't seen the movie, there is a moment between the main character and his dad that reminded me a lot between the moment me and my dad had a couple times, where we talked about that, where we were like, this is the career I want to go, and the support that it was, and even just like the family dynamics, because that movie really like opened up my eyes with how much support I have from my family,
Yeah.
especially my mom and my brother, who both have both have always been there. They're always like curious about the project.
Yeah.
And even just outside, just my uncles and aunts, everything coming. That movie really that movie really did hit close to home, and I really like that.
That's awesome, man. You know, and I do want to touch base on that subject of again with family. You know, it's we're blessed to have family that is very supportive like that because
Hmm.
not everyone gets that. You know, I mean, I mean, it's the truth that there are family out there that are trying to encourage their son or daughter to go a different direction than what they want to do. You know, and I think it's because of just the history of family having a certain ways of, you know, working or going through a career, and they'll want their son or daughter to go through the same. But to have your father there and your family backing you up and saying, "Man, we're gonna support you 100% if you want to do
Hmm.
this film and go to school for that." So that's awesome. That I'm really glad that you have family that are there for you for that. Because yeah, I've had a few people tell me it's not what I want to do, but my family wants me to do it. Or, you know what I mean?
Hmm.
But they're like, well, what is it you want to do? And they tell me something totally different. And you're just like, dude, well, this is your life, man. Like, you need to go by what you want to do. This is your journey, you know? So props to your dad, man. I
Oh
hope
yeah,
I can,
thanks.
I hope I can meet him at the film festival. It'd be cool to meet everyone that, you know, of course, I would hope your family would be there too to support the film.
Oh
Uh,
no, yeah, definitely.
but that's cool, dude. I'm really glad that you have a dad like that in your family. So to get to know you more about more the personal side, because I always like to ask, especially, but uh, what is one of your most favorite films that you have besides Spielberg or anything that you mentioned? But like, I don't know, maybe your go-to growing up, or you're just like, dude, that's like one of my all-time favorite movies.
Oh man, there's a lot. There's a lot. I have a list. I have a list. So I always and these are the ones I always go to because uh each of them just brings something different, and they're just like
Right.
comfort movies. They're really comfort movies for me. Some people might agree, not agree, but sometimes they are. There's one called What If, and it's a rom-com. It's a rom-com indie film, and it's such a funny film. I just love it. It's with Daniel Radcliffe. And there's a couple other ones. There's Dead Poet Society.
That's a good,
That one
yeah,
is
that's a
just
good
such
one.
a that one is a good one. It's funny because I went to an all boys school just like that.
Oh, you
Um,
did? Oh, no way. Okay.
yes. It's not as dramatic as like that, but
Right,
it
right.
was just kind of nice because the characters and just like the relationship that the students had in that movie. The other one was Swiss Army Man.
Okay.
That one I think was my intro of like the wackiness in film. And I
Yeah.
think every time I just watch it, I just love the fact that, some people might get it, some people might not. And I just love that movie so much. So, but those are the three I would say that definitely
Stop.
um, I always go to. And another one is It's a Wonderful Life.
Oh, yeah, dude. Oh, heck
Yeah,
yeah. That's
that
what,
one I can watch anytime.
really? Anytime? Oh, snap.
Yeah.
That's cool, dude. No, yeah, it's a Wonderful Life. Definitely, if no one's seen it, it's a great story. You know, kind of reminds you of just to really appreciate the small things in life. Because I mean, and I'm speaking for myself, but at times, yeah, we do dwell on what we don't have and what we wish we had, but then we miss out on what we do have, and the small things really do matter more than what we wish we had in the future, you know? And so it's just that film, every time I watch it, it's just really just inspires me of just the acting, the storyline, everything about it that just is so just captivating, especially around that time of era I would think it was filmed in the what, the 50s, the 60s, around there, I
I
think
think
so.
so. Like
Yeah.
after World War II, yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty deep, and there's a lot of great books based on that film on just the story behind it. But yeah, man, It's a Wonderful Life. It's
Mhm.
just, oh man, especially the ending one of my favorite parts of that film is the ending when he actually
Oh yeah.
when he cries out and says, "I want to live again." Dude, we take life so we don't even think of how blessed we are to have just to wake up every morning and see just to be here. You know what I mean? And hear this guy's
Yeah.
crying out to saying, "I want to live again, please." I'll change the way I was prior to this to make my life better and whatever it takes. Like he didn't care. He just wanted to live. So good choice
Mm.
on that, dude. I like that.
No, yeah, that one I just love just because like it like you're right. Like just there's things in life, there's hard times, and even,
Yeah.
you know, we always got to be thankful that we're here. And I even just love it because I just love that era of movies a lot of the
Right.
times because it's just kind of it's different, but also it's still relatable till this day.
It is. It's very relatable.
Mm.
Yeah, man. Well, before we close on the podcast, thank you again for coming on and sharing your story. Do you have any inspiration or any advice you want to give to those that are looking to become a filmmaker, looking to write their next short film? Do you want to share any, advice on that?
I'll say that don't settle. Because one thing is that, and I've learned this from everyone that I've been with friends, with my family, and with just like even myself, with teaching other people is don't settle because you always want to keep learning. And I always say like for anyone who's gonna go into their next short film or who's about to do their first short film, don't be afraid, don't settle.
Mm-hmm.
You're always going to make mistakes.
Hmm.
Embrace those mistakes and just keep learning from there.
Yeah, man. And you're speaking by experience because we've all gone through that, made mistakes, trial and error.
Hmm.
And and that's the thing. And it's actually the beauty of filmmaking is you get to it's okay to mess up. It's okay to explore,
Hmm.
figure things out and then once you actually get things going, you're like, that's it. There it is through the trial and error. So good advice, man.
Of course.
Well, I'm looking forward to seeing your film, Artists at Heart, premiering at the film festival April 10th, right? Well, I don't know if
Yes. I'll double check.
Okay, well, it's going to the Las Cruces International Film Festival, so congrats on your film being accepted. But yeah, man, well, thank you again, Pedro, for coming on Rhythm and Roads podcast and sharing your story. It was a pleasure hearing it. So,
Of course.
all right, guys, we'll catch you on the next episode.